Before this video starts, make sure to give it a quick thumbs up, and if you are not a current subscriber, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss a video. Thanks. Hey, what's going on, guys? Cardtrix here, and I am back after another 2 weeks. Sorry for the lack of uploads lately. I got really sick this past week, so I kind of had to just take it down a notch, but I'm back, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a really awesome any card at any number routine. I think you guys are absolutely going to fall in love with this, so let's just dive into this performance. Okay, so we're going to start off by taking the deck and giving it a quick shuffle, and the spectator can also shuffle the cards if they do so desire. And you guys can clearly see that there is no order to the deck whatsoever. It really is all mixed up, and there are no duplicates at all. So at this point, all we're going to start doing is just setting random increments of cards onto the table, just as shown, just to kind of mix up the deck and make it a little bit more random. Now, all I want you to do is just go ahead and select a card. So let's just say you select this card right here. I'll turn my head away. You guys memorize this card. I promise not looking at it. Please do not forget it. Now, all we're going to do here is to start dropping random groups of cards and get the card lost somewhere in the packet. Now, what I'd like you to do here in a minute is just think of any number in the pack. But we are going to be counting cards in a minute, so I don't want you to think of anything too high. So I'm just going to make the limit from, let's just say, 1 to 20. So make it kind of a high number. And as we're doing this, we'll just kind of get the card further lost into the pack as so. So now your card is completely lost, but I'm going to try to see if I can get a sense for what your card is. So before we do that, we'll just give it one extra cut again, just to really be sure that the card is lost. But let's just see if I can get a sense here for what your card is. Let's see, I don't think it's any of these cards. I'm not feeling any of these. Could be this one. No. I mean, in all honesty, guys, I really don't have a clue which one of these cards is yours. I'll be honest with you guys. I really don't know which one of these cards could be yours. I'm just trying to feel for it, but I truly, as the magician, have no idea. I'm being completely honest. I'm completely baffled. I have no clue where your card is at the moment. So, at this point, your card again is pretty much lost. But you did think of a number before. What number were you thinking of? Now in this case, let's just say the spectator was thinking of 19, but again, they could have thought of any number. But 19, really? I'm actually going to hand the deck to them and have them count out 19 cards. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then possibly your card, the 6 of Hearts, in the 19th position. Anyways, guys, that is the trick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So now let's get straight into the tutorial. Alright guys, hopefully you stuck around for the tutorial. So this trick is another one of my favorites. I love any card at any number routines, and this trick is completely impromptu. It can be done with a borrowed and shuffled pack of cards, so that is a huge plus. So now let's just kind of get into the works of this trick. Okay, so for the most part, this trick is really easy to perform. There's only one slight that you may or may not have to incorporate later on in the effect, but we'll get into that more as the tutorial progresses. For now, you can hand the deck to your spectator, let them shuffle up the cards as much as they want. It really doesn't matter how much these cards are mixed up. Again, the trick is completely impromptu, so all you're going to need is this shuffled pack of cards. So to start off the trick, you are going to appear to just be kind of throwing random amount of cards onto the table. However, this amount of cards is not so random. You are going to be counting in your head, and you want to make sure that there are exactly 18 cards that you deal down on the table. Now, you do not want the spectators to know that you are counting. So, you're going to do a few things here to make this seem as random as possible. First of all, you're not going to deal the cards down one at a time. You're going to push them off in groups of 3s and groups of 2s, which I'll get into in just a second. And you are also going to be talking to the spectator as you deal the cards down, because everything will seem completely random and it will not look like you're counting. So this will take a little bit of practice, because you want to be able to deal down 18 cards, keep track of how many cards you're dealing, while keeping a steady pace of talking without having to stutter or take a minute to count, nothing like that. You want everything to just kind of flow naturally and keep everything as cool as possible. So, the way you're going to do it is you're going to do a group of 3, set it down, a group of 2, set it down, a group of 3, set it down, a group of 2, set it down. At this point, you've already reached 10 cards. Do another group of 3, set it down, another group of 2, set it down. This is 15 cards. Then you're going to do another group of 2, set it down. That's 17. And then do one last card. That's 18. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not at the end just set down that last group of 3? It still adds up to 18 the same way, right? It does, but if the spectator kind of sees that 3-2, 3-2 pattern, at the end, when you change it up by adding an additional 2 and then doing 1, it just kind of seems like there's no pattern and it appears to be a little more random, so it kind of just makes everything look a little more fair to the spectator's eyes. Okay, so now you're going to have your spectator literally select any card, and you're actually going to give them a choice. They can either select a card from the pile that's in your hand, or they can select a card from the pile that's on the table. And depending on which they choose to do, that is going to determine what you are going to have to do in this next part of the trick. So for starters, let's take a look at what would happen if they select a card from the pile in your hand. You'll just spread the cards out, tell them to take out any card they'd like. So let's just say they take out this card. In this case, it is the King of Clubs. You're going to tell them to memorize it, and all you're going to do is have them place the card on top of the 18 cards that are on the table. And then you're just going to go through all the cards randomly, just setting cards down in random groups. If you want, you can mix up the cards. And then just keep setting them on top, and then at some point just stop and square everything up. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to leave their selection in the 19th position from the bottom of the deck, okay? So if you were to count 19 cards from the bottom, that would be the selection. That is exactly what you want. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking. What if they choose to take a card from the 18 cards that are on the table? Well, let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so if the spectator indeed wants to pick a card from one of the 18 cards in the table, then I want you to do as follows. Just set this packet in your hand down. You're going to need that in just a second. Pick up the pile of 18 cards and just let them go ahead and pick one. So let's just say they want to go ahead and pick this card right here. In this case, they have the Ace of Diamonds. So, they have their card, and since they are holding on to one of the 18 cards, that is going to leave 17 cards on the table, obviously. So if they add their card back in on the top, and then you throw all the cards back on top, that's going to leave their card in the 18th position from the bottom and not the 19th. That you do not want. So the easy way to get around this is you're going to pick up this pile once again, and you're going to say, okay, just go ahead and put your card on top of the pile like this for me. So all you did was just add an extra card. So now there's 18 cards here. They add their card, and now it is the 19th card. So you can see that no matter where they pick the card from, you're going to make sure that their card is going to be the 19th position from the bottom of the entire deck in the end. So for now, the Ace of Diamonds is going to be the card we're going to use for the tutorial, okay? So, after that, again, you're just going to start mixing up these cards and just start throwing random groups of cards on top. It doesn't matter. No matter what, their card will always be the 19th position now from the bottom. Now, as you're dealing the cards, I'm just going to go through it, but in the middle of dealing, you're going to start talking to your spectator as you're dealing once again. So for now, I just kind of put all the cards on top, but the directions that I'm about to give you, you are going to explain to your spectator while you're dealing the cards again, just so everything kind of flows along nice and naturally. So you're going to have your spectator think of any number in the pack. However, not really, because 1 to 52, if they pick a number that's like way up there, like 48, this trick isn't going to work out that well. You really only want a number between 1 and 20. So what you're going to want to tell your spectator is you want them to think of a high number, but you don't want them to think of something too high, because we're going to be counting cards in a minute, and this could take a really long time if you think of a number like 48. So I'm going to give you a limit between 1 and 20. Just say something along the lines of what I just said. If you word it something like that, 9 times out of 10, you are going to get a response of a number that is anywhere between 15 to 20, and that is probably the most ideal scenario. If they name anything lower, it's a little inconvenient, but the trick will still work out fine, and I will get in more detail on that as the trick goes on. So, they have a number, and I'm not going to name a number just yet. I'll get to a number when the time comes, okay? So, all the cards are on top, and once again, their card now is in the 19th position from the bottom. So all you're going to do is you need to get their card in the 19th position from the top now. So here's exactly how you're going to go about doing this. You just like the common theme of this trick, you're just going to start setting random groups of cards down on the table. And all you're going to say is you're getting a feel for the cards. And you could just say, oh, I don't think it's any of these cards. No, it's none of these, none of these. And you need to estimate. You need to kind of estimate at a point that is just a little bit before the bottom 19 cards. Because what's going to happen is once you think you've reached about that area, you're going to start dealing the cards only one by one, okay? Just one by one. Because what's going to happen is you just keep dealing one by one, and when you pass their selection, then when all the cards go back on top, you've now just moved their card the 19th position from the top. So that's a little confusing, so let's just look at that one more time. Alright, so I rearranged the deck again, so now that the Ace of Diamonds is the 19th card down from the bottom of the deck, okay? So now this is kind of like reversing the deck in a way. You're throwing random cards down on the table, but this is not interfering with the bottom 19 cards because, again, this is the top half. So once you estimate a little bit before those top 19 cards, that's when you're going to start dealing by one. And essentially all you're doing is reversing the bottom 19. Even, you don't need to hit exactly 19. If you start dealing one by one before, that's okay, because all you're doing is reversing the cards before the bottom 19, and then you're reversing the bottom 19. So you're doing this to kind of reverse the order of the bottom 19, and after you get to the point where you know for a fact that you no longer have like 19 cards in your hands and there's a lot less, you can start mixing up the cards. And then you could start dealing more cards down. And again, the only reason you're doing this, dealing cards down, the only excuse you have is you're going to say that, oh, you're trying to get a feel for the cards and seeing if you can tell which card is theirs. Now, I know, again, that is a little bit confusing. That's the best I can kind of explain it. So if you have any questions on that or what I mean, if you're just not getting it, let me know in the comment section below and I'll try to clear it up as much as possible. Alright, so just square up the cards like I've just done and then move on. So again, their selection is the 19th card down from the top of the deck now. So you're going to have your spectator go ahead and announce the number that they were thinking of, and then their card will be in the number that they were thinking of, and they will be absolutely mind blown. Now, the best possible outcome is if they were thinking of the number 19, because their card's in the 19th position, so all you have to do is you don't have to do any sleight of hand. You can hand the deck to the spectator, have them count out 19 cards, and then their card will be there, and they will be absolutely mind blown. But of course, what happens when they don't? Again, because of the wording that you used, most of the time, you're going to get a range between 15 and 20. That's usually the range of numbers that you're going to get. If it's any lower, it's a little less inconvenient, but the trick will still work out fine. Again, I'll get into that in just a minute. But for now, let's stick between 15 and 20, okay? So again, if they name 19, the trick's over. Just hand them the deck, have them deal out 19 cards, and then you have completed the trick, and they will be mind blown. Now, if they do not name 19, you are going to utilize the turnover pass. Now, the turnover pass is actually a pretty easy move. It just requires a little bit of practice. I'm not going to go too in-depth with it because I have taught it in the past, but I will give you guys a brief overview right now. Okay, so I just switched decks real quick, so I didn't have to disturb the order of the deck that we're using for the any card and any number tutorial while I'm teaching the Hermit pass, or excuse me, the turnover pass. So basically, in full motion, the turnover pass is going to look like this. So now you guys probably just saw me turn over the deck and do no sleight of hand, right? Well, of course, I did the turnover pass, and essentially the turnover pass is just cutting the cards, but in secret. So, basically the way the turnover pass is going to work is normally you're going to have a break somewhere in the deck, right? So wherever your break is, what you're going to do is I'm going to remove this top packet right here just so you guys understand what's going on. You're going to curl your index finger underneath the bottom packet, and these 3 fingers right here are just going to curl in like this. So now you're really just kind of gripping this packet, because in a second you're going to move the card just like this, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute. So obviously, again, you're going to have your break somewhere, okay? And then you're going to take your index finger, curl it underneath, like I said, and then take those 3 fingers, curl it inside. And then basically from here, all you're going to do here is curl the cards underneath, just like this. So you're forming this T shape, basically. And keep curling till it reaches the side of the packet, just like this. And I'll move my hand out of the way so you can see what this looks like without it in place. But obviously, again, your hand is going to be providing all of the cover. And then once you are in this position, you're going to take this pack right here and turn it over into that packet and then square everything up. So it looks like that you just flipped over the deck and did no sleight of hand whatsoever, nothing suspicious going on. But in reality, obviously, you accomplished your turnover pass. So let's look at that one more time. You're going to hold the deck with your 4 fingers in the front, your thumb in the back. You have your break somewhere. Index finger curls on the bottom. 3 fingers curl in this packet just like this. You curl this packet underneath, forming the T shape. Keep bringing it over till it reaches the side, just like this. Obviously, I'll give you guys an exposure by tilting my hand. I'm purposely not covering it like that so you guys can actually see what's going on. And then take this packet and then flip it over into it so it looks like that you just flipped over the deck all at once, okay? And then once again, in full speed, it will look just like this, alright? That's all a turnover pass is going to look like. Okay, so now let's get back to the trick. If you need any more help with the turnover pass, then just rewind and watch that again, or look up in-depth tutorials on YouTube. There's so many of them out there. So, once again, if they name 19, you're all good to go. The cards are ready in the 19th position. Just hand them the deck, have them count out 19. The trick's over. They'll be amazed, and you don't even have to use the pass. But of course, if they name a different number, then you have to utilize the pass. So, if they name 20, you need to turn over pass 1 card from the bottom to the top to get an extra card. So all you have to do here is just get a break on the bottom card, and then you would just do your turnover pass as I showed you with just that 1 card, and then deal out 20 cards. The trick is over. If they name any number lower than 19, again, 18 through 15 is pretty convenient. Any lower than that, it's a little annoying, but it's still pretty easy to do. All you have to do is flip the deck over. Say you could have picked any card, and then do the turnover pass with how many cards you need. So if they say 18, you're going to turn over pass 1 card. If they say 17, 2 cards, 16, 3 cards, 15, 4 cards, 14, 5 cards, and so on. So you would just have to do the math, turn over pass the correct amount of cards to help you succeed and get the card in the position that you need to get it. So let's just say, for example, they said 17 cards. So that means I know that I would have to turn over pass 2 cards, just like this. So all I would do here is, again, do the turnover pass, which again will look a little something like this, all in one motion. And now I would deal out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now the 17th card would be the Ace of Diamonds. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much the trick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cardtrix 8 signing off. Peace out.